9 to KDXR News Time, 8:36. Good morning and welcome. Hey, it's a Friday. It's also time for another edition of your Family Still Matters show with Shane Sullivan. Shane, good morning and welcome.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
On this bright sunny day, you mean?
Yeah, I looked out the windows, I said that and thought, okay, maybe it's just a little while. No, actually, I guess we need the precipitation, and we're not getting snowstorms and icy. We don't have to shut down our airport. No, that's what happened in Salt Lake yesterday, I guess, so.
No, we need a lot of rain.
We do.
Our poor mountain up there, it might have a little white on it, but I think it's way behind schedule.
I think you're right on that one.
And we were way behind schedule last year, so I'm really hoping we get some terrible weather here soon.
That's right. Keep it coming. We're okay with that here. Anyway, we should be prepared for whatever comes anyway, right, Shane?
Exactly.
All right. And, of course, your family still matters. Located now on South Bluff Street there in the Holiday Shopping Center.
Yep. We got a sign on our building, how you find us when you get down the Holiday Square. That's on 900 South Bluff. Our sign says paintball, food storage, violins. That's one of the oddest combinations that I know of anywhere.
I give you that.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that one.
Early on, before we even had a really nice sign, all we had is a banner up. We just opened. We thought one day we'd just Google search paintball, food storage, and violins. And to our utter amazement, we popped up a picture of our building, sign and all,
oh, is that right?
on some guy's blog, I think in Missouri. And he under our little thing, he said something to the fact that he had been out to Utah for a funeral, and he stumbled into this parking lot, and here was this little store, and he said, and it, with a picture of our storefront,
your store.
And his caption basically was that this rather epitomizes the shopping experience of a Mormon. And I just
okay.
Well, so we actually wear a handful of hats when you have a sign on your store that says paintball, food storage, violins. We wear a number of hats down there. Of course, the hat I like the best falls in the emergency preparedness side of the store because I've done that for 18 years. That's the one I really enjoy. But because of all these hats we wear, we go to a whole bunch of trade shows. And so this is kind of time and season for trade shows. So been to 3 or 4 already in January.
Wow. And
going back and forth, as you go to these trade shows, you walk for miles looking for that one thing or two things that's going to be new that you can bring in and have fun with in your store and introduce some new items. You know, and you just spend a ton of time doing that. We went to the SHOT Show. That's the big show in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
That's the gun show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the biggest one probably in the world, or one of the biggest in the world. Well, we don't even do firearms, but they carry at those shows other products that relate to camping, hunting, and things, because if you've got weapons, that's one of the things that are used with guns is hunting and things. So you go to these shows and look for stuff like that, because there's vendors that show up that don't do guns, but do those other products.
Right.
So went to that show, and I stumbled onto a vendor there that we've done business with forever, and they had a new product line. And lo and behold, guess what it is? It's food storage. And so that always piques my interest. I got to stop and look. Anytime I see one of those, there I go.
Is, yeah.
Brakes are on. Got to ask questions. And, of course, what really piqued me instantly was everything, big banners, everything labeled 20-year shelf life. So that gets my attention immediately, because I know that most places, people telling you things like that, it's just not, it's deceiving. So I stopped and looked. I picked up some of the pouches, looked at them, and the one thing I did like about this particular company, their pouch weight was double about any I had ever seen before. So they were giving you a pretty good value in food compared to their competitors. They had a fairly limited selection, but as I turned around and started reading the label, it said 20-year shelf life at 60 degrees. Underneath that, it said 10-year shelf life at 70 degrees. And I started talking to the manufacturer was there representing the product with the company, because he has signed an exclusive deal with them to carry his product. And I says, so the average person then with a house that averages 75 degrees, you're really talking a 7 to 8 year shelf life.
Yeah.
But everything is just boldly printed 20 years.
Yeah.
So you got to really watch out for some of that stuff, because you've got to ask the questions, because it isn't a 20-year product, because nobody can store it at 60 degrees. Even people with a basement, a lot of these basements are running, got news, a lot of these basements are heated.
That's right.
Okay, so they're
That's
70, 75, because the kids don't want to be cold if they've got anybody living down there. Okay, so when you stop and look at what your average household temperature is, that's a great determining factor on how long food will last. I mean, we carry food from manufacturer labels the same way in their number 10 cans, and I've mentioned that before. 60 degrees, 20 years. 70 degrees, you're down to 10 years. And then when you increase it even more, then you're dropping shelf life again, because heat is the big enemy to your food. Anyway, so it was a pretty good company overall, because it was all pre-prepared, ready-to-eat meals. This company did require simmering the product for about 15 minutes, and you needed to cook it. Costs per day to eat from them, I figured it was somewhere between $12 and $18 a day per person. Okay? And in the pre-prepared meal world, that's not bad.
Yeah.
But you've got to realize, if you're willing to cook from scratch, buying number 10 cans or even buckets, things like that, you can get down in the $2 to $3 a day and eat well really easy if you're willing to put the meal together yourself. I actually brought a couple other products with me. When these products were introduced to me, the verbiage that was used was, there's 4 meals in a pouch.
Okay.
Okay? Except there's not.
Oh.
And I've got 3 pouches here that I brought from this particular company. I'm not going to name names. Mike's looking at the pouches with me here. This particular pouch is a beef stew, and it's based on 4 servings in the container at 70 calories each. That's only 280 calories in the entire pouch.
Okay.
Considering you need 2,000 a day, that pouch is probably going to cost you $6. That would be very expensive food.
Yes, I would.
Okay. Got another pouch here. This one's a whole lot better. This one happens to be a corn chowder of some type. And again, not 4 meals. It's 4 servings.
4 servings. Yeah.
Servings is a portion of a meal. Okay. For most people, if you ask them what a serving is, a lot of them do think that's a meal. A serving really can fit in the average person's palm of your hand. Okay, you dump that on a plate, that's not a whole lot of food.
Right.
This particular one has 190 calories per serving, and so that comes up to 760 calories in the entire pouch. And again, probably cost about $6 to $7. You'd have to have 3 of those pouches to feed one person, around 2,100 calories then, or 2,200 calories in a day. So that comes out to about $18 per person per day for that meal. The other one we did first was, because of its low calorie content, would have been 2, 3, 4 times that price. Then I've got another one. Again, same thing. This is a soup, and it's based on 4 servings, not meals, at 160 calories each. So again, you've got only 640 calories in the whole pouch.
Right.
So if you ate 3 of these entire pouches in a day, you'd have just under 2,000 calorie diet at approximately $18 per person per day. Another thing I found interesting from this company, and again, I've been in this forever.
Right.
And so when companies start sending me their products, say, hey, try this, use this, whatever, sometimes I found out they just didn't taste very good.
Yeah.
That's kind of important. That really didn't taste good. And then the other thing is, these are dated for immensely long shelf lives. This one's dated good till 2027.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, there it is.
It's a long time.
That is.
So I got reading some of the labels on some of these, and it's got soy products in them. Well, when I've talked to most of my manufacturers and doing this stuff for 18 years, and they tell me what their people say they buy it from, because they buy it and then they can it, most of them are telling me, for best flavor, taste, and nutrition, that TVP or soy products generally should be used at the 7 to 8 year mark. Now, can it go longer? Sure. But again, for best flavor, taste, and nutrition, you're looking more at that 7 to 8 years. Well, that's a whole lot less than 2027. So I can guarantee you, I worked with another company, again, another trade show we went to, and these guys dated their product for 25 years. And so I asked them some very specific questions. And I was really impressed with this company because they had very specific answers. And they said, we have a product line of over 60 pouches that we've done forever. We started putting stuff in cans. In our initial run in cans, we only did 15 different products because the formulations for all the products we were putting in pouches wouldn't meet a 25-year criteria. So I felt like their integrity is pretty good, or they just done the whole line. But then he went on to say, he says, look, he says, even at 25 years, and he showed me one of the samples I was eating. He says, see that carrot? That nice, pretty orange carrot? He says, 25 years from now, that carrot isn't going to be pretty and orange. It's going to head towards brown. He says, it will still be edible. It will still have some food value. It will still have some flavor. But it's not going to be as good as it is today.
Yeah.
So again, even some of these companies that are dating out for 25 years, if you really get to specifics with them, they're telling you what we've been telling people forever. A lot of these products for best flavor, taste, and nutrition need to be used in the 7 to 10 year time frame, stored at a reasonable temperature to give you that best flavor, taste, and nutrition. You start pushing things out there as long as a lot of these companies claim, you may not be that thrilled with the product because out that far out, flavor, taste, and nutrition are definitely going to decline. So kind of wanted to bring that up because it's always interesting to go to these trade shows. We find some of the funnest stuff at these shows. And yet other times we go and we hit them and we look because my radar is always all over the emergency preparedness stuff and all these different things. And so many of these companies have come out. That's we talked about this several times on the show. That's why we produced a single sheet of paper that, again, I sent to all my canners. And I said, is this going to give you any heartburn? Because I'm going to hand this out to everybody. And we call it our myths and deceptions sheet, or the things you need to know sheet.
Right.
Because if you get 3 basic questions answered about food storage, it's going to cover 90% of what you need to know. And those 3 questions are incredibly simple. Whether you buy from me or anyone else, here you go. Am I getting a good variety of food? Can't be straight wheat, can't be straight sugar, can't be straight beans.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you getting a good variety of food? Are you getting grains, beans, fruits, vegetables? Okay. Is there a good variety?
Right, yeah.
And then the second question, you can ask either one of 2 ways, and you get this question answered. Again, you got these done, you got 90% of them. How much are you feeding me per day? And you can do that in pounds of food, dry weight, food weight, or you can do it in calories. Calories are more accurate.
Yeah.
Pounds are a lot easier.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you need about 1.5 pounds of dry food per person per day as an average. That's about 500 pounds a year. Or you need about 2,000 calories a day as a minimum. Most people I know, eat way more than 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Okay? For most people, that's a diet. In fact, I had somebody in the store the other day that worked out in the fitness farm. I don't know what they call it now.
Red Mountain or something, I believe.
Something.
Yeah.
He works out there. And we got talking about this, and he said, do you know, at that fitness camp, you know what we feed them per day? What our goal is for those people to eat per day? He says, I have no idea. He says, 2,000 calories.
Ah.
And so now, again, if you're at a camp like that, I guarantee you've been eating more than that, but they plan on them losing weight on 2,000 calories a day with the program they show them, how to feed them, how to exercise, everything they do.
Right.
But see, I thought that was really interesting because you hear these crash diets that take you clear down to 500 calories a day.
700, maybe 1,000 if
exactly.
you're lucky. Yeah.
And you'd lose weight like crazy, but nobody eats like that consistently. And if they did, they would eventually starve.
They'd be out gnawing on fence posts or something, trying to get a little bit of fiber.
So those are your big 3 questions. Is there variety? And how much are you feeding me? How much in pounds? 1.5 pounds a day is what you got to calculate on for how many days you want to do it. Most people around here talk about the term year's supply. So that's about 500 pounds per person. Or at least 2,000 calories a day, because we don't want your emergency preparedness plan to run you short.
Right.
Okay, you got to be realistic in doing this. So those are the 3 huge questions. So, other things we found at trade shows.
Yeah.
Fun things. Okay. Every now and then you get to go along and stumble on and not do food storage, but still falls into the emergency preparedness category. One of the things we found, I've been looking for it forever. My boy bought a pocket knife. Oh, I call it a pocket knife. It actually comes in a pouch for a reason. I have been looking for this forever. It's the cleverest knife I've ever seen. He loved it. He ended up buying two. He got them through a friend somehow. He didn't even know how he got them, but it was his favorite knife ever. And the clever thing about this little knife is, comes in its pouch. It's about 3 inches long. It's unbelievably lightweight. And when you flip out the knife blade, it's basically like a surgeon's scalpel. And the little knife blade part's kind of short and stubby. And then you can pop on a brand new blade when the old one goes sharp. And the pouch that packs it carries 12 brand new blades for you.
Wow.
He said, for those who are hunters, he says, in talking to the people down there, and my boy, he says most people can skin out a deer on one blade, possibly even a deer and a half, before they need to worry about replacing it.
Right.
A replacement blade's about 45 cents. And this blade, when it's out, you grab the end and you tweak it a little. They suggest using a pair of pliers, Leatherman tool, something to do this so you don't ever cut yourself on it, even if it's duller. But you just pop this thing off and slide it off, and you pop a brand new one in its place, and you've got a brand new razor sharp blade again.
Hallelujah. I like that.
Oh, they are so slick. We've got those ordered. They have not come in yet. But I've been looking for that knife forever. I thought that was one of the cleverest things that we had ever found, that I'd ever seen, that pocket knife. So that's one of the things we did. Another thing that we found at one of the trade shows was a brand new little lantern, LED lantern.
Oh, yeah.
I love the LED lights because they're so energy efficient. Battery life on them's great because you've got that efficient bulb. And they consider most LED bulbs to run 10,000 hours plus, so that in theory, they don't ever burn out.
Right.
They last forever. So we got some of those coming in, a new one. They're not here yet either, but they're on their way, and we bought a bunch of them. But these are lightweight, they're compact, they're great for camping, they're great for emergencies. You store a handful of batteries. Even your alkaline batteries today are dated for, I think, 8 years now, your good ones.
Yeah.
And if you go lithium batteries, they're dated for even longer. Lithium batteries definitely have their pluses. They're worth the extra money you pay for them.
Right.
A lot of people won't buy lithium batteries because they look at the battery packs, two sitting side by side, lithium and alkaline, and they look at the lithium and they cost too much.
They look the same, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, they look the same. But lithium batteries have 4 to 10 times more power than an alkaline. So the price difference usually reflects the power you're actually getting.
Yeah.
But lithium batteries have one other advantage. A lot longer shelf life. In fact, at the Energizer booth, who makes lithium batteries, the rep told me that they figured those batteries had a 50-year shelf life.
Wow.
Now, the package says 10 or 15 or something. But he says, we just print a short shelf life on it. That's short to them. Yeah. Short shelf life, because no one had ever believed that. It's just they don't believe it. So I'm a big fan of lithium batteries because they got great shelf life. They have a lot more power. The power alone's worth their price. Yeah. The shelf life is far better. And he said the way the lithium batteries are constructed, they tend not to ever leak.
Oh.
Where you can get battery corrosion out of regular batteries and alkaline batteries. Everybody who's listening has some flashlight radio something toy where they popped it open and it's all full of corrosion.
Absolutely,
and they've ruined their device. He said lithium batteries just don't do that. So that's a plug for lithium batteries. And I got news. We sell a few lithium batteries, but not very many. But I think they're an incredibly good battery to put in your storage program because of all their advantages. And then if you tie those into an LED product to get your extended life, a handful of lithium batteries and a good LED, anywhere from a small LED flashlight. Lanterns use a little more power because they're giving you more light. But you can get literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of emergency lighting with these small LED lights now. They're just incredible. So as we go to the trade shows, those are some of the fun things we get to do.
All right, and as you were just telling, you've been busy. So, you got more to go to, I guess?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just getting started, huh?
Yeah, we're going to another one tomorrow up in Salt Lake for the day. Again, you go up to these things and you just hope you can go through and find things that work in the industry, that are new, that are clever. We got back last night, 2 a.m, from a trade show in Los Angeles. It's called the NAMM Show. That's a worldwide music show. It's everything to do with music. It is a sheer headache. Because you go into that show and every other booth is a horn or a drum or a saxophone or a violin or whatever, and they're playing one at every booth.
Going on, yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's the one thing that just drives you crazy at that show: the noise level. And they have actual noise police in the show, so they wander around with these little meters, And if something's going on, it literally
wave
is
you down a little bit.
Yeah, they do. They'll actually come down and tone it down. But they still allow it at a level that by the end of the day, your head's just ringing. It's just this constant all day long.
Wow.
But it's an interesting show to go through. Of course, with the violin business that we do, and cellos and things, that we go to that one for that. So we wear, again, a lot of hats. But again, my favorite hat of all the things we do really is the emergency preparedness stuff. That's the stuff that I really like to focus on. But again, we go to these shows. We go to the same shows that all the national vendors do. We had a gal call us from Salt Lake the other day, speaking of the NAMM show, the music side of the business. We had a gal call us from Salt Lake that we'd known for years, and she says, I'm up in Salt Lake looking at violins. Okay. And we told her, I says, guarantee you, when you're done, you can come down here and get a bigger selection in the price range you're talking about than you're going to get up there, and a better price. So she didn't buy up there. She thought, I'll come down and look, and she did. And they laid out a whole pile of violins for her to try. And as she tried through those, my guy, Brad, he says to her, now, do you want to try some more? No. She says, you've already showed me more in one round of trying than I saw anywhere in Salt Lake. And we literally had more than she even wanted to attempt to go through. And out of the ones she tried, she picked one. And we did give her a better deal. And she got a great violin. And, we live here in St. George in Podunk, and we have a store that says Paintball Food Store and Violins. I guarantee you that it's not lend credibility to the violin side of our business.
I can kind of understand that.
And you don't get a shirt and tie experience. Because we do too many things. We're packing in food. We're packing out food. We've got almost 100 violins at any given time on display. And that's about, a third to a fourth of our entire inventory. So we have a great rental program. We have a great sales program. We've got a great turn-in program once you've bought one, if you want to upgrade into a nicer one. So that was the NAMM show yesterday, violin business. Anyway, we're located down on 900 South Bluff, in the Holiday Square, under that sign that says Paintball Food Storage and Violins. And you can go to our website, which is fullbellyinsurance.com. And you can check us out there. We've always got a price sheet available. Our price sheet, we try to keep it current. We always give you how much the item costs. We give you the ounces it weighs, so you can do an ounce per cost comparison. We're not trying to hide anything from you. Our Myths and Deception, or Things You Need to Know page, is on the front cover. It takes less than 3 minutes to read. And whether you're buying from me or anyone else, that little 3-minute read will give most people more information on food storage than they can gather in 100 hours of research on the internet.
Wow.
Because we've put it into one little concise thing that gives you all the bullet points.
All right, very good. Once again, Shane Sullivan, Your Family Still Matters. Good information. Now, get on the road, would you? You've got more shows to get.
All right,
there.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, every other Friday with Your Family Still Matters.